Hello there, and welcome. So yesterday I read to you, or maybe today, I don't know what I'm doing. I read to you from the shipping news, and so our Thursday assignment is to take inspiration from the writer I use and see if we can write something ourselves. So Annie Proulx. Now, if I were going to categorize her to give people who haven't read her yet a flavor of what they would encounter when reading her work, she's, for me, sort of the American Dickens. You know how Dickens had these wild characters that were so deeply ingrained into the culture of the place they came from, like Uriah Heep and Oliver Twist and Pip and Joe and Miss Havisham. I mean, he would do these incredible names and these incredible people in these incredible places. That is very much how Annie Proulx is, but of course her places are American places. And by America, I mean the continent as much as I mean the nation. So the shipping news is set in Canada. And the passage I read was from the middle of the book, and it was about a boat called Tough Baby. And Tough Baby was built for Hitler. Although, as you saw in the passage, he never boarded Tough Baby. But part of what makes the humor in Proux's work are these characters, these people that are just really, really unique to the place where they are, to what they're doing. And that gives us a hint about how Proux's process works. She, if you ever listen to any interviews of her, she is really driven by place. And for her, it's rural places and wild places that are most inspiring and power her through her fiction. And that's certainly true with the shipping news. It is set in a very rural location. And of course, she's written a lot about Wyoming. But there's something else that I think, to go and say now, write about a rural place that's very, very austere. Well, okay, if you want to, you can absolutely do it. There is no place more austere than the rural places of the Americas. But there's something else that she does that is not as place dependent, maybe. It might be as place dependent, but is a slightly different thing. For me, what makes Proulx most interesting is there is in her work always this one thread of myth. She is interested in places and characters where legends still form. We think of legends and we know that there are these ancient stories that are changed through time and changed through distance and make for a sort of gods and monsters feel to storytelling. And, anybody who's a fan of Grimm, of the Grimm brothers, would be a fan of Proulx because she really does understand this myth building, but it's not overt, it's not upfront, it's threaded inside the material. And that makes it even more potent, I think. The way she slides it in is super surprising and interesting and powerful. So, how can we take inspiration from this? Well, I think use any form you want, a poem or a story, even a memoir. Write a legend. The further you get from something, the more legendary it can be. In the same way that this project about my brother is giving me something to focus on and to concentrate on in tribute to him, it also has allowed me to begin to see his legendary qualities. I know him as a person. He was a person. He was a flesh and blood person that I adored and that bugged me and made me mad sometimes. But as I think about him now and as time has extended since his death, I've begun to see the legendary qualities of his life. And it's nice to be able to share those with you. So there it is. Give it a try. Write a legend. That's it for today. I hope you have a glorious rest of the day. And I hope you see me again. You gorgeous people.